doesn't degrade from its quality though. Prime 3 is a lot of fun. I don't know, all eyes are on Retro Studios to make Prime 4 and make it amazing, because the Prime trilogy is one of the greatest trilogies ever. I mean, it'd be pretty hard to... You got big shoes to fill, Retro, and that's the trouble. And I mean, the thing is, it's just like any team from that era, which a lot of people wish were coming back. So I say like Bungie or ex-Bungie for Halo 1, 2, and 3, and Tokyo team for Kingdom Hearts 2. You know, the members of that team are long since dispersed, so we won't have a team like that ever again. Same with Metroid Prime's team. After Prime 3, most of them left because of rumours of mismanagement and all that, and all sorts of things all sorts of rumours that have gone around ever since the end of Prime 3. So I mean, who knows? Especially because I haven't had a game since Tropical Freeze 6 years ago? God. Who knows what'll be happening now. Hopefully something decent. Anyway, here's the high jump boots. It's the high jump boots, you jump higher. See, all the power-ups we've been getting so far, aside from the spider ball, of course, haven't really been explaining, because it's... You know, if you know your Metroid 1, they're pretty obvious, and even if you don't, I don't really need much explanation anyway. Like, the bomb allows you to drop bombs. The morph ball allows you to go into the morph ball. Ice beam, freeze enemies, stuff like that. It's not very complicated. So that's our second energy tank. 3 more to go, and then we got max health. Actually, this is completely unrelated. Well, unless you want to count the fact that they're both sci-fi settings. You know, Phantasy Star Online 2 isn't very related to Metroid. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of PSO 2. Just because I've always wanted to get into an MMO. You know, there wasn't something like Club Penguin, because you don't really work together with people on that. So yeah, Phantasy Star Online. Well, it's because I've always been somewhat of a fan of the Phantasy Star series. I beat the first one a few years ago. I enjoyed that, even if it was very, very grindy. Almost as bad as Earthbound Beginnings. And I own Phantasy Star 2, 3, and 4. Got them off the Wii Virtual Console before that shut down. And I've played the first few hours of Phantasy Star Online 1. I mean, I enjoyed that. You know, it's certainly dated, but it's still enjoyable. Now we got the wave beam. The wave beam, of course, allows us to shoot through walls, and of course has the wavy pattern. Yeah, Phantasy Star Online 1 I mostly love, not because of the gameplay, but because of the atmosphere that it has. You know, that late 90s. Well, it was early 2000s when it came out, but same sort of. It's the same time. The soundtrack and the visuals and everything, just super. If there's a time period that I will always love, just visually and auditorially and all that, it's definitely late 90s, early 2000s, because I'm a sucker for it. And pretty nostalgic for, so that also appeals to it, which is why Phantasy Star Online 2 is also giving me the same feeling. Because the soundtracks are very similar, the sound effects are similar, and I just think, oh, that's so cool. You know, even the paid stuff, the Memories of Regol from the first Phantasy Star Online, it's just really cool because you can get the same outfits and soundtracks and all that, and it's really cool. I'm a big fan. But I think I really love PSO 2 just because of how fast it is to just how much faster it is than PSO1 to level up to. Also, I guess you can't go through here. I guess we have to go another way in order to get out. But yeah, like in PSO1, after about 5+ hours of gameplay, I was only level 9 because I checked the other day my because I didn't get that very far into it, but I was only level 9, and Meseta was hard to come by, and things were expensive, and getting new weapons and all that. Death was pretty punishing, and you had to grind a lot in order to be able to access the next area. So the difficulty spike from the forest to the caves was huge. There was Ben for the Win 98 or The Exorcist, and I would play PSO1 for a bit, you know, and we both enjoyed it because, you know, I was always the melee guy, he was always the ranged guy. But of course, it's very grindy, very grindy, and I do plan to beat it soon. Just the single player episode 1 and 2 stuff. But that's what I love about PSO2 is it's so fast. It's so fast. You know, you get Meseta quickly. You level up very quickly. You've got tons of different classes you can try out, and they all feel very different. Things aren't as janky, but that's just a given. You know, stuff like that. And I love that. I really do. So yeah, it's just very enjoyable. You know, just the atmosphere and everything. And how one great thing. Also, this boss here. Can't think of his. It was sort of like a mini boss sort of thing. Can't think of his name, but he certainly comes out of nowhere. Got to drop bombs in order to take care of him because he's immune to everything else. And we get the spring ball from that, and that allows us to jump while in the morph ball, which is just a neat little convenience. It also takes you out of spider ball. So there you go. But, you know, after 5 hours, maybe 5 or 7 hours of playtime in PSO1, I was level 9. After, I think, maybe 10 hours, or roughly about the same time, 5 to 7 hours of playtime in PSO2, I was about level 20. So, you know, you level up much faster and all sorts of things. And, oh yeah, that's what I was about to say. My biggest pet peeve with an MMO. I tried playing FF14, but then I found that just moving around was so slow because the areas were just too big and you would take forever to get from one place to another. So I think, okay, well I'll try Shin Megami Tensei Imagine. Well, it's reimagined now because of the fan servers. And same problem, except it's even slower. It is so slow to get from place to place. As much as I love SMT, I liked what I played of Imagine, but it's so slow. So I think, alright, well I also tried Final Fantasy XI after 14, because I thought, you know what, the servers are probably going to go offline soon. You know, it wouldn't surprise me. So I may as well at least download it and say that I have played it. And I've played it and it's just nothing at all caught my interest. It was just so dull. And then, you know, I thought, whatever, let's just try PSO2, and it's like, finally, you know, after ages, I finally found an MMO that I can find fun, or, you know, continually fun. So attempt number 4. Because the worst part of an MMO is always the beginning, it seems. You know, when you don't know anyone and you just get into the community and it's overwhelming. Super overwhelming. There's a million things that you don't know about. But then, you know, with PSO2, yes, it can be overwhelming. Yes, the Microsoft Store is garbage because I'm playing on PC. Use the fan launcher, use the PSO2 tweaker, because that will give you no problems. Well, at least nowhere near as many as the official Microsoft Store, so, you know. Other than that, it's pretty easy to start, pretty easy to continue playing. It's just fun. And it's free, so that's a you know, a big plus. And you really don't need to pay for premium content. Anyway, now we get the Varia suit. So the Varia suit itself, because we can't change color palettes in this game, like we did in the original, now we have the big shoulder pads. And this is where the classic Varia suit design comes from. Metroid 2 here. And I still think the artwork on the front of the box for this game is super cool. You know, it's very 80s. I know this is 91, but again, same time period. It's just super cool with the reflections and all that. Samus on her knee, smoking arm cannon and everything. It's super cool. To think Metroid, around the same time, you know, it's pretty similar to Kid Icarus because they had a first game on the NES and the second game on the Game Boy, and you know, both released around the same time. And then so just compare them now, where Metroid is, you know, not the most popular Nintendo franchise, but it's certainly up there. You know, and we got plenty more games for it. And then Kid Icarus, after Myths and Monsters, you got nothing until Uprising, and then likely nothing for a long time. So yeah, don't expect much out of Kid Icarus anymore. I expect a lot out of Metroid. You know, that'd be the dream, but of course. Well, you know, as I said earlier, we still have that hope, the Prime 4 hope, you know. Just gotta hope that it's very good. You know, because... Still, I'm guessing that game's not gonna come out till 2022 or something like that. It's a long time. Just a long way away, ever since they restarted development and everything. Just a long time to wait. And I mean, you know, I'd rather them take their time instead of rushing it, because Shigeru Miyamoto, game take long time when you take too long to win a bad game. That's the quote, absolutely. Can't remember where I saw that, but of course, like it's based on Miyamoto's quote of a rushed game is forever bad. But a delayed game is eventually good. I think that's what he said. And then of course someone's taken the quote and just made a I had a stroke sort of version out of it. So anyway, this is a tight arena. We got to fight a Gamma Metroid in this little box, which is uncomfortable considering the amount of health I have, or really don't have. And also I think it's 10 missiles in order to take down a Gamma compared to 5 for an Alpha. So it's not comfortable. Yeah, but luckily we get a health recharge here. Yeah, so I'd say at the moment Metroid 2 is at its most difficult. Just when you start to fight Gammas and you don't have too many energy tanks. Once you get up to 3, then they start becoming pretty manageable. Obviously you still got to fight them, you still got to have somewhat of a skillful encounter with them, but you know, they're not overbearing. But still, yeah, no, we're fighting alphas here. What, an hour in? Yeah, just about. So, yeah, they're not too bad. You know, because when you see an alpha now, you think, oh, thank God. You know. Because Gammas, when you see them currently, you think, oh, well, alright, bring it on. This is going to be tough, but we'll manage. Also, I don't think I've managed. We're quite a while in now, but I don't think I've mentioned that the only way to play this game in color is through the Super Game Boy. There's no other color version of this game. So yeah, unless you still have that peripheral from what, 1993, I want to say, 4. Then you're out of luck in terms of playing this game in color, unless you're going to emulate a Super Game Boy emulating or just playing the Metroid 2 cartridge, which you've downloaded from the internet. I don't even know if you can do that. I don't know if there's a Super Game Boy color version. Or Super Game Boy emulated thing that you can do. There might be. But yeah, a lot of Game Boy games can only be played in color on the Super Game Boy still after all these years. Like any re-release just doesn't have the color, so Pokemon Red and Blue, the only way to play those in color is through the Super Game Boy. Same with this game. So yeah, it's kind of unfortunate. Or you could just do what like Pokemon Gold and Silver do, where they were made for Game Boy Color, but they can still be played in a regular Game Boy. But if you play it on a Super Game Boy, it doesn't give you the Game Boy Color version. It gives you the colors of the Game Boy, except for the sprites. I think the Pokemon sprites themselves, I think it gives them their proper colors. I did a Let's Play in the game for like 65 episodes and I can't remember. That's not the longest Let's Play anymore, is it? Because now it'd be Digital Devil Saga 2, yeah. So there you go. Huh. Also took much less time for me to finish DDS 2. That's because I just wanted to keep playing. I was having so much fun recording. But now we're done with Area 2 finally, and we're about to go into Area 3. Area 3 is the last area where things, you know, are taking quite a bit of time. Starting with Area 4, things start going by very quickly, so get excited for that. You know, if there's one thing that commentating over this game has over Mystery Dungeon is that Mystery Dungeon was 10 hours long. This game is 2.5, so yeah, that's fine by me. Now we start to get some different looking sprite palettes for the caves here. I'd say yeah, Mystery Dungeon itself isn't very much of a Let's Play game. And then, I mean, obviously this can be, it's fine. Mystery Dungeon, there's either, you know, the dungeons, which, you know, you run out of stuff to talk about very quickly, or you have the cutscenes, which, you know, you don't really want to talk over. You want to voice the characters, for me at least. And so he's sort of left in this position of, well, there's 10 hours of this. What do I do? But I think that's a problem with post commentary as a whole. Unless you got things that you deliberately want to talk about that you've planned out in advance, it can be pretty tough. So yeah, I don't think I'll ever do another post-commentary game again. I don't think I ever should have to. Also, yeah, don't think that you're safe here because the Gamma can go through the Metroid shell, as he's about to here. There you go. And now we're in an even more unfortunate place, so... But if you can manage to keep it above the Metroid shell there, you'll be fine. Area 3 is probably the most complicated area in the game. If only because it's hardly linear. Well, it's still pretty linear, as in you go in one way and you come out another way. No intersection in between, no crossing. But the way that, as you saw there, we came out of that area through spikes, and now we can't go back through the spikes. We have to go all the way around and back through a bunch of other corridors just to get back down there. So here. So I mean, it's actually a good thing I fell down here, because there was a Metroid down there. But if I fell down there again, well, that would suck, because you can't spider ball to get out through that first hole there to get back to the save point. No, you got to go all the way around up through the spikes again, because there's a bunch of spikes on the walls to prevent you from using the spider ball to get out. So yeah, Area 3 is kind of a slog. You know, at this point of the game, you're an hour in, and you know the gameplay is starting to wear on you a little bit. And you think, all right, well, I'll just push through this area. But then that's why I'm glad that the areas afterwards don't start to increase in length. They start to get shorter and shorter, and you think, wow, I'm actually, you know, I'm through the thick of it. This is where the game is picking up now. You know, there's a lot less exploration, but exploration isn't the fun part of this game. So yeah, there you go. Come down to this area here, and I'm pretty sure there's a missile recharge. So yeah, I think they balance these out pretty nicely. There's a pretty good amount of missile recharge stations and health recharge stations. They're not everywhere, but they're at, you know, you won't go too long from one area to another just to get. Well, you won't go too long between recharge stations, and if you are in an area where there aren't ones around, it'll only take you like 2-3 minutes to get to one. Which yeah, it's a little out of your way, but that's Metroid. You gotta backtrack in these games eventually.